Teacher, you know very well that today we are going to discuss about the beautiful topic in the biology. Why? Because biology is a wonderful subject, interesting subject. It's give life to us. It's extend our lifetime also, and that's what is very important. Okay, today we are going to learn a beautiful topic. The first topic that is called as heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Already you know that in the living world, different organs are there. Different organisms, either plants or animals, they are habitating or surviving in different conditions. They are habitating different conditions. Some are living in water, some are living in deserts, some are living in polar regions. So that even though based on the availability of food material, based on their habitat and based on their nutritional habits, they are taking different types of food materials. Okay now? So listen, these autotrophs in nature, actually plants only autotrophs in nature. So why? Because by the process of photosynthesis, they are acquiring their own food material without depends upon anybody, and that's what plants are called as autotrophs, and such type of nutrition are called as autotrophic nutrition. What do you call? Autotrophic nutrition. But most of all animals have to depends upon plants for their food material. Okay now, and that's what remaining all the animals are called as, otherwise those who are depends upon plants for food material, and those are called as heterotrophs, and such type of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition. Actually, depend on the type and availability of food, organs can assort a range of strategies of food intake and use. Depends upon availability of food material, and some of the organisms have to follow a kind of strategies to intake the food material. For example, some of the organisms break down the food material outside the body. Some of the organisms break down the food material outside the body and then absorb it. For example, bread molds. Yeast and mushrooms. Already you know that mushrooms means in Telugu called as puttagodu. Okay now, yeasts are using for the fermentation process, and which are called as saprophytes. These are called as, what about bread molds, yeast and mushrooms are called as saprophytes. Why they are calling as saprophytes? For example, bread mold, you have to think so that this is a piece of bread, and whenever this bread mold, in Telugu rottebuzu or fungus, in Telugu what do you call? Rottebuzu. Okay now, and suppose whenever this the bread mold is growing on that, they have to release some of the enzymes into the bread, and that's what this bread is. Listen, a piece of bread have to melt and start convert into liquid form. Whenever these saprophytes releasing enzymes or honor into the bread, the piece of bread have to melt it and it turns into liquid state. Then they have to absorb it. That means what, outside of their body, this bread is broken down into small pieces or converts into small liquid form. Then how that sponge is absorbing water? Like that. These saprophytes had to absorb and using the food metal as a food. Understand? And these are called as saprophytes. And this type of nutrition is called as saprophytic nutrition. This type of nutrition is called as saprophytic nutrition. In exam, they are asking what are saprophytes, and yeast is the example for dash type of nutrition. Like that, they are asking. Okay, now, and next one. And some of the other organs derive nutrition from plants or animals without killing them. And next, you have to discuss about the parasitic nutrition next. Parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition. Next up, in this type of nutrition, the organisms have to live on other organisms without killing them. Without killing them, they have to take the food material. And this type of nutrition is called as parasitic nutrition. Okay, now this type of parasitic nutritive strategy is used in a wide variety of organs like cuscuta, lice, lichens, and tapeworms. Example for parasitic nutrition, cuscuta. Actually, cuscuta is a parasitic plant. Cuscuta is a parasitic plant, and it's genus Dodder. This is also called as, it's a leafless twining plant. This plant is depends upon another plant, and they have to penetrate inside the other plants and absorbing nutrients. That is another matter. Anyhow, cuscuta is one kind of parasitic nutrition. Next one, lice. Lice means పేలు మనకు తెలుసు కదా, మన తలలో ఉంటాయి. They are causing itching. But even though more and more are there, they are not harm to us, but they are sucking blood and they are surviving. And what about some of the leeches? Leeches means jalagalu. Okay, na? So these leeches also, when the animals are entering into the water for drinking or other purpose, they are sucking the blood. Even though they are sucking plenty of blood, those animals are not dying. So this is called as parasitic nutrition. Okay, now other take in whole materials and okay. And next one, for example, remaining animals like human beings, what they are taking? They are taking food material inside and break down, and then after the swallowing, then it's a continuous digestion process. For example, if there is an apple or banana or any fruit or food item, first you have to take it inside, and when you are crushing, automatically it breaks down into food material. So the food is breaking down inside the body. Okay, now, so like that, different types of animals have to follow different methods of nutrition. Understand? That is there. And next one, actually, since the food and the way is obtained differs. Food, so different animals is taking different types of food materials, and some are herbivorous animals are there, they are taking only plant material, and some of the carnivorous animals are there like tiger and lion. Okay, now they are taking only flesh of animals, and omnivores are there. These animals have to take both plant and animal materials like us. So different animals have to follow different types of food materials, and that's why, and the process of digestion also different in different animals. Understand? For example, Okay, now like amoeba, the food may be taken in by the entire surface, but as the complexity of the organs increase, different parts become specialized to perform different functions. For example, single cell animal like amoeba, his whole body is contain only single cell. This is a unicellular organism. So total digestion process is done by only single cell. But when the complexity and the structure of the organs are increases, automatically the digestion process also different. So different parts become specialized to perform different functions. For example, if you take an example of our digestive system, it may start from mouth and it ends with anus. In meanwhile, what about the esophagus is there? In the mouth, salivary glands are there, esophagus, our stomach, small intestine, large intestine, liver, pancreas. See how many parts are there. So all these parts of the digestive system have been involved, and they are doing different types of, they are secreting different enzymes. Okay now, so all these togetherly, what about doing that digestion process? Okay now, and in example of amoeba takes in food using temporary fingers. Actually, listen. So amoeba is there here. This is amoeba. These amoeba having finger-like extensions, finger-like projections or extensions, and due to the pressure of jelly-like substance cytoplasm, like this, what's going on? Due to the pressure, it's forming what about pseudopodias. These are called as pseudopodia. These are called as pseudopodia. Okay now, of this cell surface which fuse over the body particle and forming food vacuole. Suppose you have to think so that, and this is the food material. And whenever amoeba found that food material in the what, do you know that amoeba lives only in fresh water, not in marine water? Okay now, so automatically what will happen? The pseudopodia have to extend like this, and here the hole have to form it, and a food vacuole have to form it. It may catch it and enter into inside the food material. Okay now, so these food vacuoles have to release some of the enzymes and break down the food material, and then after it's mixed into the cytoplasm and spread throughout the body of amoeba. Like that, single cell animals doing digestion process. Okay, and next one, inside the food vacuole, complex substances are broken down. Okay, then diffused into cytoplasm. The remaining undigested food material is moved to the surface of the cell and thrown out. So anyhow, this when the food material entered inside, food vacuole have to release some of the enzymes. They have to break down and digest and diffuse in the cytoplasm. Diffuse means they have to mix in that and spread out through the body. And if there are any undigested materials or unwanted materials, they have to, what about, sent to surface of the body, and they have to thrown out like this. Okay now. For example, paramecium, which is also a unicellular organism, the cell has a definite shape. Food is taken into a specific spot. So this is about amoeba. And next one we have to discuss about the digestion paramecium. Paramecium is also called as slipper animalcule. So this is also called as slipper animalcule. So why? Because it's looking like a sole of slipper. So it has a definite shape. Amoeba do not have any definite shape. Based on the automatically it's changing their shape. Okay now. Why? Because it's changing the pseudopodias always. That is different. That's why amoeba do not have any specific shape. But this one is called as paramecium. And this paramecium also called as a slipper animalcule. This is also unicellular organism. That means a single cell. Here, and food is taken in a specific spot. Food is moved to the spot by the movement of cilia. See, this is covered by cilia like this. These are called as cilia. Cilia, this is. Okay, now this is called as anal pore. Formation of food vacuole. Formation of food vacuole. Okay, now food is moved to spot by the, this is called as oral groove. Suppose if there is a food material, automatically the cilia have to moving like this, and the food is coming towards the oral groove and going to inside. Okay, now so where the food is indigested, so anyhow the food is coming to inside and digestion is process going on, that is called as okay. Actually, another topic, parasitic nutrition in Kaskuta, nowadays in syllabus not there. Why? Because already know that syllabus is reduced due to the COVID pandemic situation. Already syllabus is reduced. This is Kaskuta parasitic nutrition in Kaskuta not there. Next, we have to discuss about the nutrition in human beings. So, very important topic in our daily life. Nutrition in human beings. Nutrition in human beings. Okay, now actually human digestion is so human digestion is a very complex in nature. Human digestion is a very complex in nature. So why? Because different parts are involved. It's a tube-like portion which is extending from mouth to anus. Human digestion is a nutrition in human beings. Human digestion is a complex in nature. Different parts are involved to perform different functions, and some of the enzymes, okay, na, and digestive juices also secreting for completion of digestion process. Okay, na, the alimentary canal is a basically a long tube extending from mouth to the anus. Actually, alimentary canal. See, our digestive system also called as alimentary canal. Alimentary canal. Alimentary canal. So it's a tube-like portion. So how it is? For example, we have to start. Pharynx. This is called as mouth. Okay, now This is stomach. This is stomach. And this is small intestine. Small intestine. This is large intestine. Large intestine. This is rectum. And finally this is anus. And moreover, here see an umbrella shaped structures are there, you know, and this is called as liver. This is called as liver, L-I-V-E-R. And here down there is a leaf-like structure, and this is called as pancreas. This is called as pancreas. Okay now. So and this is called as mouth. Okay now. So like this. Okay now. So you have to see different parts in the digestive system: mouth, pharynx, esophagus. It's a pipe-like structure, and this is called as liver. This is called as stomach, and it's a leaf-like structure, that is the pancreas, which secrete insulin. And next one, this is the small intestine. This is the large intestine. Next part rectum, and last one is anus. Like that. Okay now. Actually, we eat various types of food material. We will eat chocolates, we will eat biscuits, and we will have fruits, vegetables, veg, non-veg. All these things we will have in the same common way to the digestion, that is called as mouth. Okay now, and to the same digestive tract also has to be converted to substance small enough to by utilized by our body. So anyhow, you can't swallow eggs. Of course, you can swallow, but it's a very problem to us. So first of all, you have to make into small pieces. That's why you are when you are starting eating in the mouth, you are crushing, you are chewing very well. Then what will happen? It's break down to small pieces, and again it's have to you have to swallow and pass to the esophagus and reach to the stomach. In the stomach, what's going on in the stomach? And so many digestive enzymes have to release the digestive juices, and digestive enzymes have to release, and it pass to is made into juice, and that is passing to small intestine. And in the small intestine, how to total digestion process is completed because of various enzymes, and finally it passed to large intestine. In the large intestine, there is no further digestion actually. So in the small intestine only our digestion process completed, but in the large intestine, water, only excess of water if there is any excess of water in the undigested food material, it's again reabsorb it, and through that anus it may pass it. Understand or not? So like that, there is the next one, passage of food through alimentary canal or gut. Next, passage of food through alimentary canal. So that means this is the from mouth to anus. This is called as, this total part is called as alimentary canal. So if you extend like this, if you stretch it, so in chicken you have to see that, and if you stretch it, it's like a long tube-like structure. It's like it's extended as a long like tube structure, and that's why this is also called as alimentary canal. Okay now, and next one, food is cut and crushed by our teeth in the mouth and mixed with saliva to make it wet and slippery in nature. So if you keep in your chocolate in your mouth, what will happen? Immediately, what about saliva have to secrete? When the chocolate is melts in the saliva, okay now, then it pass to the tongue have to knowing that taste. So first the food will make, whenever salivary glands have to, you know, the 3 pairs of salivary glands are present in our mouth. The 3 pairs of salivary glands secrete saliva. It makes wet and slippery in nature. It's make wet and tadiga avutundi and also slippery in nature. It's easily passing through the alimentary canal. Okay now. So what I told you, 3 pairs of salivary glands are there. Salivary glands are there. How many? 3 pairs. And these 3 pairs of salivary glands are located in different places. 2 pairs are located at the side of the jaw and below the tongue. At the side of the jaw and below the tongue. And 1 pair is located in the palate. There is a special structure is there. Palate. 2 pairs of salivary glands are present. What jaws and below the tongue. And 1 more pair is present at the palate. So like that 3 pairs of salivary glands are located in the mouth. Saliva mainly contain an enzyme called as amylase. What saliva mainly saliva. So salivary glands have to secrete saliva. And this saliva contain a special enzyme that is called as amylase. AMYLASE. This is also called as ptyalin. 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 Amylase, that enzyme also called as ptyalin, which helps them break down the complex carbohydrates. What is the use of this amylase or ptyalin enzyme? They have to help the breakdown of carbohydrates. Okay now, that is there. And next one, 2 simple ones. This process of breaking down. Okay, next we have to discuss about what is digestion. What is digestion? Please note down question also. What is digestion? What is digestion? Digestion means the process of breaking down the complex substances into simple ones with the help of enzymes and absorb it. Okay now, the process of breaking down the complex substances into simple ones with the help of enzymes and absorb it. Okay now, and this entire process absorbed into the body is called as digestion. Once again, see that the process of breaking down the complex substances. For example, if whenever you are taking an apple or banana, first what you will do, you have to break into small pieces into mouth. When you are crushing, when you are chewing, automatically, suppose this banana have to make into small pieces like this. And when you are crushing, when you are chewing all these things, that is called as the process of breaking down into simple ones. That means it's make into very small pieces, like a cells, like a juicy substances. The process of breaking down the complex substances into simple ones with the help of enzymes. Suppose so many enzymes are there. Amylase, that is ptyalin, sucrase, okay na? And different types of enzymes, ptyalin, lipase, peptidase, ptyalin, lipase, amylase, pepsin, sucrase, all these are different types of enzymes. So with the help of enzymes, they are converted into simple ones and absorbed into the body. So already know that in the small intestine, villi-like structures are there. They are spongy in nature. They have to absorb it, and it's mixed into the blood. And blood is carrying all the food material along with the oxygen and supply to all the cells. So this process is called as digestion. The process of breaking down the complex substances into the simple ones with the help of enzymes and absorbed into the body, and this entire process is called as digestion. Okay, now that's it. And actually, you know that the tongue is helpful for mixing. What is the use of tongue? It's so that is there. And dear students, you have to note down homework. What are saprophytes? What are saprophytes? Give an example. What are saprophytes? Next question, explain different types of nutrition. Third question, draw human digestion. Okay, thank you.